probably the best place to start is a little background. So why don't you, sort of introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your flooring experience. How long have you been in the flooring business?
So I've been in the flooring business since 1998. And I'm originally from, I've been at it a while. I'm originally from Illinois, and I worked in Illinois until 2016 when my husband's job moved us to South Carolina. So I've been with the same company ever since we moved here. I work at Outlook Flooring, and I've been with them ever since we moved here. So I've seen lots of products come and go, and it's just it's just one of those things. Once you're in, and I kind of said when I moved to the Carolinas, I was going to do something different, and here I am, right?
Oh, did you really thought about trying to do something a little different, and then you just got back into the flooring?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So what was your dream? What was Jeannie going to do when she grew up?
If I wouldn't have landed, so weird background. My educational background is not anything to do with what I do now. So I actually worked for Honeywell as an application specialist for them in their electromechanical switches and solid state sensors division. So weird background that I started out there and quickly realized I do not want to do this, right? I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And so I worked there for a while, and then after that I went to flooring, and then I've just been in flooring ever since.
And so if you had your dream job, what would it be?
I would work at a horse farm.
Horse farm. So you love horses?
I do. And I would do something like that.
That sounds like
therapeutic riding or something like that, for kids.
If only it paid more.
Yeah. Oh, if only it paid more. Yeah, exactly.
I got my sister's big into horses all while we were growing up. Had her own horse. I wouldn't call it a horse farm. She had about 4.5 acres and had a couple horses roaming around there. And then her kids got to be, 8, 5, and 4, and she decided that horses were a little bit too much work at that time. So I guess her kids are getting a little bigger now. She's probably interested in jumping back in the horse farm business. I think that would make her happy. I wouldn't be surprised if she did that in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
People that are into it are really, they're really into it. It's really cool environment to be around. My grandfather was raced cart horses in upstate New York. So I grew up going to the Kart Races. It was awesome. Good old Batavia Downs. What's up?
Yeah. It was enjoyable. Well, I sold my horse when we moved here, and so I haven't had one since we've been down here, and I miss it and would love to be involved at some point in time, but just not now. So
I'm sure you'll make your way back there. So back to flooring. So tell me a little bit about your role at Outlook.
Okay, so we have 3 stores, and I manage the Gastonia, North Carolina store. So at the same time as managing the store, I also sell. I have my existing accounts that I've had since I've worked at Outlook, and we probably are about 60% new construction, 40% retail. And all of my new construction accounts, I still service them, and then I'm also meeting with the reps and deciding what's going to be in the showroom or not in the showroom, and just the whole, just kind of taking care of the employees and things like that. So
that 60%, is that company-wide, your 60% new construction, or is that your personal client base?
Company-wide 60%, and I would say my store, I'm 80-20.
80 new construction?
Yep.
Wow, so you guys are doing well with that then. Our business here in Raleigh, we were 0% new construction and 100% retail. we hadn't been around long enough, I don't think, to tap into that new construction market, at least from a retail flooring standpoint.
Right.
But I imagine that's a pretty good business. Do they squeeze you a ton on your margins? I mean, is there still money to be made there?
No, I'll tell you, we don't work with anybody like the large production builders. We work mainly with, our target market is a builder who builds 50 homes a year or less. And we try to keep, more in the custom to semi-custom builders. And so I think my margins are, I think, good. I mean, compared to maybe retail, I don't know what y'all are kind of running on your retail.
I think, as I talk to flooring companies across the country, it's usually falling in that 40% range.
Right, for retail. So I'm averaging 35 on new construction.
That's great if you got consistent repeat business. Because you think if you think about it, if you take the amount of time, energy, and marketing dollars that it takes to generate one retail lead at 40% margin versus a repeat buyer at 35% margin, I can promise you're more profitable than the retail location.
Yeah. So, it's good business. And I have found that every one of my accounts just says it's really all about service. So they're willing to pay the price that we are quoting them, as long as they're not having to deal with anything, on the flooring end. And so, some of them I've got one builder, my best account, honestly, I've set them up with their own showroom. They want to be responsible for their customers, making their own selections with them. But all the other ones come in here and I meet with them all. So on my best account, I spend the least amount of time. I'm making the most money on an account I spend the least amount of time with. I nurture the account and service that account, and that is my best account.
And so the builder will send customers that are in the decision-making process into your facility, your showroom, to make selections. That's it.
Some of my accounts do. My biggest account does not. I've set them up their own showroom in there.
Oh, they have their own showroom on site. So you drive out to their spot and show them there. Okay, that's cool.
They basically send me, they're basically sending me a floor plan and selections, and I'm entering the order and making sure I measure the jobs, make sure everything's entered into our system on our side, get all the purchase orders created, and then it goes to our purchasing department. They purchase it all, goes to scheduling, they schedule it all, and just to make sure I'm the liaison, basically, to answer any questions in between. So
that sounds like great business, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. I mean, because when you're in retail, I guess you still have at least 20% of that. When you're in retail, every customer is like a whole brand new animal, and you never know what you're gonna get. You get the nice ones, you get the not nice ones, you get the sane ones, you get the crazy ones. At our place, we seem to get more of the crazy ones than anything, but that's always fun to deal with. So are you actively still, as part of your role, developing new builder accounts?
Yes, constantly. I mean, I think that's something that's just always in the back of my mind. I just got a new account this past week. I'm super excited about it. I measured the house today.
Congratulations.
Measured a house for him today. Thank you. I'm excited.
Awesome.
And so we'll see how this one goes. It's a big house, and so it'll be a nice order, and we'll see what happens. But this is one where the builder's wife works with the client to make decisions, and so I won't have to do that again, and it's just wonderful when it works out like that. And they build more. We have 3 stores, the Rock Hill location. They build closer to most of their houses they're building are down there. So we have a in-store designer in the Rock Hill store that she'll be meeting with. And so I really probably won't see them. I'll just be servicing that account,
managing the account, making sure they're happy.
Yep.
So do they, when you, I say land an account, I don't know that, I'm sure they don't sign like a contract necessarily, but what, when they do decide to give you a shot, is it they're giving you a shot and you better knock it out of the park the first 1 or 2, or are they usually kind of giving you a more lengthy commitment?
Yeah, there's no actual commitment. I mean, I feel like you earn the business and then you work to keep the business. And so I will call on a new builder and basically just say, introduce myself and just say, hey, I just wanted to, let you know who I am, what we do here at Outlook Flooring. I don't know, who you're currently using for your flooring. They'll usually tell me. And I'll say, well, is there an opportunity for me to put a price on something for you? And they'll either tell me at that point in time, you know what, we've been using so-and-so, we're happy. And I always honor that because I want my clients, I want my accounts to say the same thing.
You don't want someone poaching you, right? You're trying to find a crack in the armor.
That's right. So, once in a while you get lucky and who they've been using has messed up a few times in a row and let them down or whatever it is, it's the stars line up and they give you a shot, right? So I never kind of go in super low because I kind of let my expectation be what it is. So I want to make some money at it. I'm paid on a commission as well. And so I feel like I kind of want to give them a pretty decent price going in, but I don't want to like just lowball it to get that one order because I don't want to work going forward for a really low margin where I'm not making much money. Right. So
it's a lot easier to go down in the future than it is to go up.
True that, if it would ever happen, which it never does, but yeah.
Right, exactly.
I mean, with price increases every time you turn around, but it's just I try to be fair and put it where I think they're going to be happy and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. We've had 2 price increases in the last 6 months, which are pretty much industry wide, and and the market's taking it. I mean, it hadn't seemed to slow or affect our sales. And it just kind of wonder like, man, it would be nice if one of these times this price increase actually put more money in our pocket. Because really all we're doing is it's a price increase just to pay more for the darn floors or shipping or whatever.
Right. It's frustrating. I mean, we're a Mohawk Align dealer. And so we had a Mohawk increase at the beginning of the year and we just got another one. I mean, within a 2-month period, we had 2 price increases, and it's frustrating. I
guess the only good thing is your competition is probably getting smacked with at least one of those, probably both of those as well. So, at the very least, when a customer goes from one shop to the next, they're going to end up, with more or less the same thing as they would have had. But yeah, it would be nice if. Aside from making our job more difficult, we could at least make more money with these price increases.
Right.
So, in your location, in terms of products and offerings of products, how many do you know roughly about how many products that you guys have across all your lines? And do you end up dialing in on a few products that are sort of your favorite tried and true, go-to floors to steer people towards, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, for me personally, we have some consistency throughout our 3 locations, but at the same time, we have some things where each of us like our own little things, and so we're not 100% the same in all 3 stores. And so I think every salesperson has their level of comfort with their go-to products, and they all do it. I do it. I've always done it. I still do it. And
isn't that funny how we do that? And there's no rhyme or reason sometimes to why we came up with these things,
I know. And I guess because, I don't know what it is. I've installed a lot of it. I've never had trouble with it. I've not ever had a claim. The price seems, workable. People accept the price. It's got great colors. I don't know, but you just get your little comfort products and you do kind of show them first. There's other things you can always show if they don't like it, but I do kind of go to my go-tos and so I don't know, honestly, it's a great question, David. I don't know how many different lines of stuff we have in here, but it's full everything. I mean, we've got engineered wood, solid wood, luxury vinyl planking, sheet vinyl, carpet, tile, backsplash products,
everything.
All of it. So
So do you so you have probably a bunch of different manufacturers. I guess if you actually have more than just even like LVP or just carpet, you've got tile and some backsplash products. So you probably have a little bit of everything from different manufacturers, or
Yeah.
is there some overlap
Yeah.
there?
A little bit of everything from a lot of, the door, there's always somebody popping in here. Pet peeve of mine, by the way, a rep without an appointment. Oh, but anyway.
Hey, all reps out there who are listening to this podcast, schedule a freaking appointment, would you?
Reps popping in, like they're cold calling, which I understand. They're trying to make a living too, so I always try to be very gracious to them, but it is a pet peeve of mine. But anyway, they'll be just the guys that kind of have this little one-off line or something like that. I rarely bring it in. I will bring in somebody who comes from a little bigger company that I know that if I have a problem, I got a company that's going to try to back their product. That's where I'm always afraid of these little onesie twosie things. So I rarely will do that, but I'm not a fan of a race to the bottom when it comes to pricing. And when these guys come in and they've got this little cheap LVP or whatever, I always say, listen, I'm not interested. I appreciate you coming in. It's not going to do you any good to bring a product in here that I'm not going to sell. So I can tell you right now, I'm just not interested in this at this time.
Is there a way that you go about? Obviously, LVP is hot right now, and that was one of the precursors to our conversation here in this podcast today. So I definitely want to go into that a little bit more because you had some very strong feelings about it, and I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on that. But when the reps come in and they're showing you these products, whether or not it's a company you've heard of before or not, is there a certain process that you go through to sort of take a quick look and see whether or not that's something you think is quality or might fit in your product line with a different coloring or variation that you think your customers might like?
Yeah, that's probably it more than anything. I kind of look at the product. I'm always interested in the technical side of it. I mean, that's just probably my background, right? I want to know how thick it is. I want to know about the pad. I want to know about the wear layer. I want to know about the warranty. I want to know about all of that. And then if the colors are good, okay, fine, we're getting closer. Tell me the price. Okay, we're in the ballpark. But again, I'm very careful of these little small, like independent reps who are just repping for a company. And it's not the actual company coming to me, it's an independent rep. And I really care that I'm going to get taken care of if I have a problem, and so there's where I'll draw a line in the sand a little bit, just, so I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it answered my question perfectly. I honestly, I mean, and we go through the same thing because at the end of the day, you need to know that if your client has an issue, that the company who gave you this floor is going to stand behind you. And if it's some, mom and pop or one stop, dude just comes by with some LVP out of his windowless van, you don't know if that guy's going to circle back around again or just sell his shipment and disappear. It puts you in an uneasy position. And I'm sure that you don't want to be in that position.
That's exactly 100% correct, because unfortunately in this business, the longer you're in it, you'll know that you are going to have claims and products are going to fail, and independent inspectors are going to be called in, and you're sitting there just waiting to see what they say. And when they say it's product related, then all of a sudden the company's sending in their own independent rep, and you're just waiting. And in the meantime, nobody's getting paid. The customer doesn't want to pay, and you're not getting paid, and the salespeople aren't getting paid. And it's just, I just like those little bit more established companies to work with, just because I feel a little more secure that if I do get into a situation like that, I'm going to have some backing. So,
yeah, I know a thing or two about not getting paid. I think we've got like 7, 8, 9 jobs. I bet I got $40,000 outstanding right now in collectibles that, I had one client, they're holding $5,000 while we were waiting for a transition piece to come in, a $25 transition piece, and that's worth $5,000. Meanwhile, I've bought the floors, I've paid my installers, my bank account's light, and then who knows what happens when I finally get this piece. All of a sudden they're going to start because they're holding on to the $5,000. They've got their floor. They've been enjoying their floors for a month and a half. I have not been enjoying my money for the last month and a half. I can tell you that.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, on a situation like that, and we've had them too. I had one recently. It was a job where it was a $8,000 luxury vinyl plank job. We got in there to do it. The installers are saying there's a big hump in the concrete. It was a lower level, big hump in the concrete. We can't go over it. We need to get this ground down. And the guy that I was doing it for happened to work in the concrete business. So we had started the install and then waited for him to finally get his guys to come in and grind that hump down. Mm-hmm. And then we waited for them to go on vacation, and we waited for them to get back, and we waited and we waited. And then honestly, it was probably 2 months. They finally said, okay, we're ready for you to come back and finish the install. And then once we came back and finished the install, I played phone tag and email tag with this woman. She was just putting me off for probably about a month. And at that point in time, I was getting less than kind. And I mean, seriously, sometimes you have to do it. And I just sent, my final message was our terms. We are not a finance company. Our terms are 50% deposit, balance due upon completion. Your job has been done now for a month. You owe us this money. We will start adding some finance charges. And believe me, I got paid, but I had to go after her, a dozen times. It's ridiculous. People, once they have their floor, all of a sudden they're conveniently on a vacation.
Oh, you're less of a priority. Yeah, you were a priority when they wanted their floor 3 days before Christmas, but You're not a priority now.
Right.
Yeah, we've taken to well, if we can't get this invoice paid, we're going to be going down to the courthouse and filing a claim against it. And that usually gets us paid pretty quickly, but it's an ugly thing to have to say to somebody, and you don't want to get in that position. And we're trying to, take care of our customers and make sure they, enjoy their experience here and all of that stuff. And we want referrals, obviously always an important part of a business, but at some point, it's kind of about the money. I mean, we got to get paid. You can't just have these, we got bills to pay, lights to keep on, and employees that are working, and families to feed and stuff. And sometimes it feels like the customers don't really understand or relate to that. So let's jump over here to this LVP issue that we had a chance to talk about a little bit beforehand. I'm dying to know your thoughts. You mentioned in our messages beforehand, you didn't care too much for the race to the bottom, which definitely seems like is happening all across the country right now. The product is caught fire. We sell, the majority of what we sell is luxury vinyl plank, and we've had good experience with it. It sounds like you have uncovered some issues, so I'm interested what your issues have been and how you're going about handling those in the marketplace right now.
Okay, so luxury vinyl plank is a great product. So I will say that, we sell a lot of it too. It is probably, as far as hard surface flooring goes, our number one selling product. Wood sales are just nearly non-existent anymore for us anyway.
Same here.
So, it's just taken the place of laminate sales and engineered wood sales. I don't do a lot of 3/4 solid anymore, but for sure engineered wood. So it's just taken the place of all of that. And I'm not kidding you when I say, unless a customer wants carpet, they all come in and they go, I want that waterproof floor.
Yep.
First thing out of their mouth. And so, they're talking about luxury vinyl plank, and so we start down that road and we talk about the different products. And it's so funny because you can kind of tell if they've been in a home store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. You can tell if they've been there already, which most of them have. And what the misinformation is that they've been given from other salespeople is amusing to me. I enjoy it a little bit, and then you have to turn around and try to get them to believe what you're telling them is real. It's just part of the selling process. But anyway, when it first came out, it was great. We were told this product can go over tile. You can put it over existing wood. You can put it in a 3-season room. You can, it's indestructible. It's waterproof. It's the best floor ever and will be the best floor ever. And then as time goes on, we realize we can't do lots of the things that they told us that we could do with it. Right. So I've had jobs that I put in over my worst one is I put it in over glue down wood on a slab, which we were told we could do in the beginning. And now I am married to that job, and we are to the point now where we will probably be replacing that job. So it's cupping.
So what happened? It was on a slab. Did moisture come up through the
we believe,
slab?
Yeah, we believe that when it had glue down wood on it, the glue's your moisture barrier basically, and that slab was still able to just do what it needed to do. I mean, that it was a 3/8 glue down wood. We feel that moisture is now not able to escape anymore.
Yeah, it's getting trapped under that. That's what I've been reading.
It's trapped, correct. And so it has nowhere to go. And so what it's doing is causing these planks to cup. They're peaking where they come together, which causes the cupping. And in one room, it actually lifted up off the floor probably 3 inches around a desk. And we've been out to this house, like we have already replaced probably, I don't know, a couple 100 feet of this job, over the course of the last few years. And
so this has been multiple years now. It's been since you guys did the original installation.
Wow. And we're at the point now where I think that I know it in my heart. Like I kind of know where we're at with it, and the owner of our company kind of is trying to become at peace, knowing that really truly this job needs to come out. It's not a proper installation. We should have never done it. But at the time, we were told we could, And so I'm so frustrated by that side of luxury vinyl, where they come out and say, oh, you could do this and do that and do this and do that. Well, then you do it. But years down the road, when things start to fail, and we've all learned a lot about this product, they're like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Well, yeah, we know it now. But what about back then,
Yeah, I guess, it's tough when, it's almost like a new medication comes out and you're like, yeah, this is the greatest medication. It's going to cure all your problems. Well, it's not been around long enough to, having gone through a couple of different cycles to figure out that, well, yeah, it's curing one thing, but it's causing this problem now that's even worse than the problem that you cured. So, we see that, in the medical field, and anytime you get a new product and this, being the same for LVP, I'm sort of intrigued myself as to like, I haven't been in the business as long as you have, but we installed quite a bit of this, and I kind of hold my breath sometimes and wonder, all right, when are the phone calls going to start coming?
Right. So I think, so just misinformation from the beginning, I think has been a struggle. And then secondly, like here in where we're at in North Carolina, and because we are so busy with new construction, it's absolutely impossible for a builder to get HVAC on by the time the flooring goes in. It will not happen. As a matter of fact, it won't happen because they won't give them a CO until the floors are in. Okay. So we're setting ourselves up for failure on every job we install, because this product, there's a couple products out there that say they don't require acclimation, but their acclimation requirements are so tough to hit that really truly there's not a single luxury vinyl plank that should ever be installed in a new construction house in North Carolina, if you're having problems with your power like we are, and if your codes are saying what ours are. So it's a terrifying thing to me. I feel like every single job has an opportunity to fail. And that's what everybody wants. And at every single job, really, truly, we're breaking the rule on.
Yeah. So if you had to do hardwood, I mean, that needs to acclimate. So what would be the difference in the process with a hardwood?
So engineered wood, historically, we're making decisions based on history here. So historically, yes, engineered hardwood should acclimate, but we've never been bit by it. So there's a sense of, just peace that, okay, I know I'm going to get away with putting this engineered wood in with no acclimation. I've never had a problem with it. So there's not the fear. Now, I have had problems with luxury vinyl not acclimating. I've had problems where it won't go in. So
like an SPC or WBC or
SPC. I don't have a WBC in here. I don't sell a WBC. I don't like it. I don't have it. Yeah. So no WPCs in my store, but it's an SPC, and it was actually Pergo Extreme, which is supposed to be a really nice product, right? So new construction house. It was fall where it was getting cool at night, but it would warm up during the day. No HVAC on. It went in this whole house. I think I had like about 3,500 feet of it. And the installer calls me, he sends me a little video that when he's locking them together, that there was it wasn't tight. And it was, you could run up into, he could take a little knife and it would just tap into the side of the next plank. It was just not clicking down tight. And I'm going like, oh my gosh, what the heck? So I called the rep. He happens to be local. He went and looked at it and he said, let's just give it a try tomorrow. So after sitting in that house overnight, that stuff went in perfectly. So I don't know.
So you think it does need a little acclimation, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, the HVAC was not on the house, but I guess it just sat in that house and it got warm enough during it got warm enough throughout the day where when they started back at it, it was warmed up enough and it went in. But I mean, I think the whole acclimation requirement is the biggest hurdle that I have with the product, is just that every job I'm putting in, if something went wrong and I went back to the manufacturer and said, this job is doing XYZ, he'd say, the first thing out of their mouth is, did you let it acclimate? And I would say, no, I did not. And he'd say, that's your problem now,
So do you just change your process and tell the builder, hey, I need to get these floors out there a couple days early, or what are you thinking there?
I haven't so far. And I feel like I'm just, it's like Russian roulette here. I feel like I'm just spinning that barrel, just waiting for the ball to drop. That's my problem with luxury vinyl. I'm scared of every job that I sell. If it's going into a retail customer's house and I can control that acclimation, believe me, I'm going to deliver it. I'm going to acclimate it and I'm going to do it right. But I don't have the opportunity in new construction, and that's 80% of my business. And so that's where I'm scared. That's why I told you before, I have switched as much as I can people to a 12 millimeter laminate. It doesn't have to acclimate. I think it's a great product. It's visually looking beautiful these days. Price is perfect. It's, I love the product. I'm just really, I think it's my fear of being stuck with a $7,000 to $10,000 luxury vinyl plank job because I didn't acclimate it. And if I could, I would. I don't have the opportunity to do it. And that's my biggest deal.
So when you are talking to one of your builders and say, hey, why don't we think about this product? Because I think it's going to be better, what kind of reception are you getting?
So I'll use my largest account to tell you that I had that story. I had that talk with them, and they're like, well, it's just everybody's asking for luxury vinyl, and so we're just probably going to stick with it. And they stuck with it. So I did find a product that says it doesn't have to acclimate, and I said, let's just use this product here. That way, I do have a little bit of peace here. I'm using Target New Gen with that account. And it says right on the samples, it does not need acclimation. So it has taken that liability off of me, and I feel a little better about it now with them. And so I'm trying. Yeah.
Well,
so
you had a
like,
chance to express your concerns, and they made a grown-up decision
yep.
to continue on with it. So
Yep.
that's not to say, as we all know in the construction business, that when something goes wrong, they're not going to still turn around and point their finger at you, but at least you can reference, hey, I tried.
Right. Yeah. So other than that, you know what? I have luxury vinyl on my showroom floor in here on a large section of it. And as far as the product goes, I have to admit it looks good. It cleans good. It's staying together. I have a 60-pound dog in here with me that I play ball with throughout the day once in a while, and on purpose, I'm throwing that and making her slide on that luxury vinyl. I'm trying to scratch it up, and it's not, it's doing
that's
well.
nice.
So, I mean, the testimony there, so it's doing well in here. We built a house 3 years ago with Lennar. You probably have Lennar up by you.
Yep,
They're Shaw. They have a contract with Shaw here. So I had a Shaw. We came into our house kind of midway through. I couldn't make changes to the flooring, and there was a Shaw FloorTimeTV WPC specified for the house, and I had to take it. And within a year, it was cupping, and it took about a year of fighting back and forth with the builder to acknowledge there was a problem, and I got it. Long story short, it's no longer there. So I took it out of my own house, and I put wood in. So I don't have it in my own house anymore, but I know it. It's, like I said, in here, it's hanging in there and doing well. So I'm happy to know that about it. But I still just feel better about laminate. And I don't know, David, do I have a great reason to tell you why?
No, I mean, you've explained yourself. Yeah, you've definitely explained yourself. I think all our listeners will definitely relate and incorporate that into their experiences and then make a decision about how they want to play it from there, which is all we can do is kind of present them with the information. So one last question for you. I'm always curious about this, running a digital marketing agency, and I love marketing. I'm so happy to have ended up doing something that I really do enjoy. So you like horses, marketing is something I love. I do it all day, all night long. And I never feel like I'm working. So it's fun for me to have these kind of conversations. So in terms of the store that you're at and marketing, and then how marketing and sales sort of work together. Do marketing and sales work together in your store? Is it a separate department? Do you outsource that? And then what are your most reliable marketing sources? Obviously, your business development and new construction is probably your biggest source, but in terms of retail or any other marketing and branding stuff that you guys do, what's your plan for that?
We have our own department. I don't want to call it a department. We have a guy that works for us that does
the marketing guy.
The guy, and he focuses mainly on digital for sure. And we like to, I'd say that we kind of like to put pictures of completed jobs on Facebook. I think we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And he kind of takes care of all that stuff. He'll put jobs, completed pictures of jobs. He'll mention the salesperson. He'll mention the location. He'll mention what the product was. And he does that. And then we also get co-op dollars through Mohawk to tag into like their spring savings events or their Karistan month or, whatever Mohawk's got going on at the same time. Again, like I said, we're an aligned dealer with them. So we'll do that type of a thing. We actually do some radio advertising, and we did billboards for a while. Those actually worked believe it or not, quite well. And
I believe it. The question is whether or not it worked for the amount of money that you were spending on it, or more importantly, would something else work better? That's always the billboards work, television commercials work, radio works. The question is how much you got to spend to get a result.
Right. So we had it's just a little local radio oh, my dog wants to go outside.
That's a 60-pound dog.
Radio.
That sounded like a 15-pound dog, not a 60-pound dog.
No, she's a 60-pound. I know. Because that's her little mom. I want to go.
Sounds like my Hyundai horn. When I'm driving down the road and I honk at somebody and I get a little beep, like then people look in their mirror and they realize I'm just driving a stupid little Hyundai.
I'll send you a picture of my store mascot when we're all done. But,
all right, cool. Yeah.
60 pounds. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the marketing. So it's a little local guy it's a local radio station that came around with this little deal. It was very affordable, but because of high school sports not being able to have spectators, they're putting all these games on this local radio station. And so there's going to be a lot more listeners. And so he came around with this little thing where you get this, I think it was a 30-second little mention, they kind of talk.
Yeah.
My marketing guy worked with their marketing guy and came up with a little shout out on this radio station. So we've been doing that, and I've had a couple people come in and say, oh yeah, I was listening to my son's whatever game it was, and we heard your name and decided to come check you out. So I mean, we have had a couple hits on it, and stop it, no, and so that's surprising to me in a way, and it was only like $400. It was really inexpensive, so it surprises me. I mean, if I write one job, I'll get that money back, so no big deal.
Is that a decision that falls under your purview, or is there somebody else making the decision on what gets spent where?
Yeah, so the marketing person is the one that is making those decisions. So this local guy actually came in here with his little promo, and I sent it on to the marketing guy and let him decide whether he thought it was worth it or not. So yeah, I don't make any of those decisions, which is fine with me.
That's cool.
As much as you like it, I don't. So
I do. I don't know why. I just love it. I'm working on a really cool project for a guy in Sacramento right now, and he's having to do a rebrand for his business. And so today, my graphics team and I were working on. We created a character for this business, and we gave him a personality, and he's we gave him a image for the logo and everything, and it just, I don't know, it's so much fun. I created this whole backstory for him. It's just a good time, and then I also have the vision of, okay, once we have this all created, how are we gonna market this through all of our marketing channels in order to get some buzz going, and I can already see this guy kicking some big time branding butt, so we're real excited about it.
Excellent. Great.
Cool. Well, that's that covers all the questions I had, and we've been on here, wow, a good 50 minutes. Look at that. So I certainly appreciate you taking some time. I know you're busy, and I hate to make you stay late for joining us, but I do appreciate it, and hopefully the flooring community as a whole will get some value out of what we had to share today. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.